Hey there, gentlemen. In this video I want to show you how you can critique your own guitar playing. The sources I'm using are the books The Advancing Guitarist and An Improviser's OS. So this overview is just what this video is going to be. Timing, note choice, melody, phrasing, dynamics, articulation, rhythm, sound, and by the end I'll just talk about some miscellaneous stuff. So the beginning is you want to put forth a restriction of your playing and practice one thing at a time only. Then you record it. You could use your cell phone, whatever. You could record a video too, but that's more secondary. And after you record it, you listen to it, you critique it, then you repeat until satisfied. The goal is just to learn something and not to be great. You just learn to love the process of learning, and you teach yourself how to learn, you teach yourself how to teach. So the first aspect is timing. That's the temporal placement of music, and you should always use a metronome. Don't use the delay pedals or something like that, because it gets relative pretty fast. Important thing about timing is subdivision. If you're playing swing, you're using triplets. If you're playing straight, you're using 8th notes or 16th notes. If you're playing shuffle, then you're also using 16th notes. Then you have no choice. Decide beforehand what you're gonna use. It's a scale, it's a chord, it's a chord progression, it's a song, it's an opera, a symphony, and play only the right notes. Keep in mind that the right note could sound bad if played at the wrong time. So I would say don't be stubborn just because you're playing the right notes. You could go wrong, as they say. And the melody is comprised of steps, leaps, and compound intervals. Check to see where the melody is coming from. Where is it going? Does it sound good? Is it strong or weak? Is it lyrical? Meaning you can sing it. Are you using motifs? Are you developing the motifs? Motifs could be developed into bigger things like a long melody, and repetition is just a form of change. Next you have dynamics. Then there you want to find the middle and then work from there. From the middle you could go up or you could go down and practice achieving different effects. Like sometimes you are only playing the soft on the lower strings, on the higher strings. So identify any problem you have there. Then you have phrasing. That's also very important. Is the phrasing interesting? Is it random sounding? Is it predictable? Meaning you're always playing a certain type of phrases or duration of the phrases? Or is it unpredictable? You could practice achieving different effects, but again, just practice one thing at a time. And more phrasing. Is it continuous or discontinuous? Does it sound like you're practicing, or does it sound like you're making actual music? If the phrases sound random or rambling, I would just suggest you use 4 or 8 notes or 8 measures periods. Examples are 3 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off, 6 on, 2 off, and so forth. And the pacing is also very important. How long you should have a take is probably from like 30 seconds to several minutes. If you could keep the focus, you could go for longer than that. But remember to just keep your concentration. If you're losing your concentration, just lay off immediately. Articulation is this means how clearly or unclearly your playing is. It could sound too clear, it could sound too unclear. And practice achieving both effects. Again, one thing at a time. I can't really stress this enough, that you only practice one thing at a time. And it depends if you're using your pick or if you're using your fingers. With the pick, you have less control, but you can play more dynamically and faster. With the fingers, you have more control, but less volume and less flexibility. Over to your left hand, you have strong fingers and weak fingers. You ever try to play only with your pinky? Try that. And then you have attack, bending, hammer-on, slurs, trills, vibrato. You need to familiarize yourself with as much as possible, really. Okay, over to rhythm. Does the rhythm sound interesting? Does it sound boring? Why? Is it syncopated, meaning your playing is always on the beat? Or is it unsyncopated, meaning it's always off the beat? Practice achieving both effects, one thing at a time, of course. And the different aspects of rhythm is groove. Could people dance to it? Would they want it? Does it feel good to you? Does it make you feel bad? And then there's sound. I would advise you use no effects in the beginning. With effects I mean any reverb, delay, distortion. Just play completely dry, with a dry signal. That's where you get no help, no assistance. So your playing becomes more transparent. Are you playing an electric guitar? They are usually easier. Acoustic guitars, like a nylon string, it's a lot tougher. You have to press down harder. It's harder to get a good sound, really. And also it has limitations when it comes to amplification. I would suggest you try both things. So your sound is like the sum of it all, the sum of everything I've talked about so far. And only you can decide if you like it, of course. If you don't like your sound, then you may want to try and change it. Change one thing at a time so you could identify weaknesses. And keep in mind that not everything will sound bad, not everything will sound great. A lot of the time it's just perfectly fine. Nothing in particular, nothing to write home about, and that's fine too. It's that's just the nature of practicing guitar, I guess. So what does your music sound like? Is it jazz, rock, reggae, etc.? Is it unconventional? Is it something totally new? Is it nothing in particular? Are you playing jazz? Are you trying to play jazz, but it doesn't sound like jazz? Are you playing reggae and for some reason it sounds like classical music? Just reflect after your take. And never ever ever forget there's always an audience and someone is always listening. That's right. If you don't believe me, go take a look in the mirror. So how about you? How are you feeling? Is it worth it? Did you learn anything? Be honest, really. The more honest you are, uh, the better you're gonna get, the quicker. So stay honest. Don't try to cheat. Keep in mind that as you practice, so do you play. It's kind of obvious, but it also easy to forget. And work on your strengths and your weaknesses. So you can also delete or preserve your take, and this way you can track your progress. Of course you won't keep everything, but some of it should go into an archive, so you could track your progress and keep a daily journal. And don't just write the days that you are playing guitar, but also write about days you are not playing guitar. Write down why you didn't practice, if you didn't want to, if you didn't have the time, if the people around you wouldn't let you, etc. And just remember to relax and don't force anything. Just take one step at a time. This is very important, that you only practice one thing at a time. If you don't do that, well, yeah, and you have almost all the time in the world. And if you're at the beginning of your guitar career, welcome. You have potentially decades of playing, tens of thousands of hours playing. Your guitar career could be short, it could be long, you could go professional, you could just play in your bedroom. Always try to be learning, no matter what your status is. And here's a picture of an American eagle. Let's just take a few moments to reflect on that we're not American eagles, because their lives are probably a lot harder, a lot more complicated, a lot more brutal than playing the guitar. Or maybe not. Yeah, any case, that's it for me. So, thank you for watching.